Hey there, Jen here. Thank you for clicking on the video. I wanted to take a few minutes to bring you all a warning. I didn't write it out all prophetically. It's something that I've read about in my journal that God made known to me. If you don't understand what I mean by that, you can go back to my witnessing and testimony videos because I don't want this to be very long. It might be 5 minutes, guys, seriously. So just give me a moment to offer you a warning that hopefully might help you in the times that we are in, because I'm seeing, again, a lot of bad information go out there. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I'll briefly mention it again. In 2019, when God radically woke me up and my family became strangers to me and very harsh, cruel, and abusive, He made known things to me. They showed me what they were going to do to me and in the world. You know how they show you in symbols and signs. Well, they showed me. I don't think they expected me to figure it out, though, but I did. He had a notebook, and there were things written in his notebook, but it didn't make any sense because it was just notes in the margin, and you'll see what I mean. There was just company names and names of things that you get when you consume bad food. I'm not a doctor. No part of this is medical advice. This is speculation and my own educated opinion, and I believe a word from God. That God opened my eyes and let me see these things so that I could warn people. So what was in this notebook also was just a bunch of things that didn't make sense, and he said it was a school notebook. Mind you, we graduated in like 2014 from college. So why would you still have this in 2019? Which he keeps stuff, okay, whatever. But he didn't take a health class. And it looked more like the questionnaires that we took when we, I'm sorry, I wanted you to be able to hear, when we worked at restaurants. I know, some of you are saying, well, just get to it. It's only been 2 minutes, all right? I gotta get there. So some of those things that were written down and things that he told me but doesn't remember telling me. Now, he didn't come right out and tell me, hey, there's going to be a big plan and this, that, and the other. He would either strongly encourage or discourage certain things. This is how I know this isn't all AI and electronic. People are involved and they do know what they're doing. And you can tell this by their actions and the things that they say and the things that they do and don't do. Is your family eating different? Are they avoiding certain things? Are they all avoiding the same things? Watch other people, observe them, because the people in the know already know what to avoid. Now, I brought you a warning about eye drops years ago, and did a video again when Bob Saget did his last tweet about it. If you don't know what it is, go see it. But that can be used to do harm to people, and there are cases now where it's come out and it's been investigated, and people are going to trial over it. Now, the other thing that God warned me about, do you remember when everybody changed right around CV, and everybody thought, well, it's CV, well, it's these things that are going in everybody's arms. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people changed right before that, but most people didn't recognize it because of what happened immediately after, and because of work and school. Lockdowns hadn't started yet, so most people didn't see these changes in their family and their loved ones. I did, because I've been out of work since about 2014, 2015. Something else he highly encouraged. He wants me in one of these groups that is to be persecuted, and I know that. Okay, so everyone was doing something. They were working from home, right? Or doing school from home once the lockdowns began. Now, just like with the demon syndrome, everything that they're doing is damage control. It's the same thing with Rona and people's personalities changing. They did all of that to use that as an excuse. And people are saying, well, it's giving this dis-ease, well, it's giving that dis-ease. I think that's highly possible, because what we believe ends up happening, like the placebo effect or the reverse placebo effect. Our minds are a lot stronger than we know. They mapped them out, and they used our brain as a template for quantum computers, allegedly and supposedly. So what else was everyone doing while they were at home? They were using an app called Zoom, and everybody was using it, and everybody still is using it. I know not to do something when people are too eager to get me to do it, in these times especially. I've had a lot of people, strangers, the people that tried to lure me to Montana, somebody else that wanted me to go attend a church. Everybody is trying to push this Zoom app on me. So I resist it because I know that means there's something wrong with it. There was a movie on Tubi that gave it away too. But again, I don't call myself a prophet. I don't call myself any of those things. And everybody's saying there's failed prophets now. Remember, Jonah wasn't a failed prophet. He preached to repent and told them damnation would follow if they did not. Those people listened. And so his prophetic utterances did not come to pass. A prophet is someone who speaks for God. Okay? So that's, you need to know that. They don't always make correct predictions. They're here to speak for God and to warn us, because God always warns people before he does something. And I believe I'm one of those people that he gave some warnings to, and I want to bring that out to you. I'm not here for popularity or money, obviously. So thank you for listening, and I'll get back to it. So I believe everybody changed right before Rona started, but they used Rona as damage control, as an excuse. But it happened before that. And if you go back in your memory, I bet you can pinpoint someone in your life who started changing around that time. These people are in the club, just like Erica Kirk. They're in the club. You don't get screen time. You're not in the know if you're not in the club. And if you're not in the club, you're not in the club unless you're a cool kid or a rich kid or wealthy kid or somebody who has a good bloodline. And even sometimes that's not enough, because they'll reject you like they did me. I wasn't even invited, but I was rejected. So I think Zoom, there's something wrong with it. Now, there was a movie on Tubi, and there's a lot of movies that were released right around Rona that gave a lot of this stuff away. Sorry, I'm kind of leaning here. There was a movie that I saw on Tubi that was just made by people on their iPhones bored during lockdowns, allegedly. It was about a couple who was separated. The husband went off to work. The wife stayed home. It was during lockdown, so work was different. But he went somewhere else, and they were both being tormented by something. And they would both see things in each other's cameras. Now, I've told you before, cameras, frequency, anything with a screen is how they're getting into our lives. They will tell you to get rid of all these other cursed objects, all these books about the occult and New Age. They're just books. They can't do you any harm unless you start believing everything in them, right? But they never tell you that the electronics that you carry in your pocket every day and the screens that you have are how these beings travel, because they are beings of frequency. Satan is the prince of the air waves. Frequency travels through air waves. This is why angels had a hard time getting to Daniel, and they were blocked until the 21st day of his fast. So I believe that there's something wrong with Zoom, because people keep trying to get me to use that app. Now, I don't know what it could do, or if there's a curse or a jinx or a hex. I don't know. But I'm telling you, and I'm warning you, that there's something wrong with it. Don't use it anymore. Now, this next thing is going to be a hard thing, because I've mentioned these things in passing, and I have wrote them down in my journal, but I don't always do videos on them alone, because there's just so much I could be telling you guys that I was shown from 2018 on. So this one is hard because it's very harmful to people. During Prohibition, when there was a war on between the government and the people to get people to quit drinking this bootleg liquor, the government got a hold of some of it and poisoned it. And they considered the people that passed away from this collateral damage to get everybody back to behaving. Okay? That they admitted this. You can go look it up. All right, please do. What do you think the best way, without damaging the resources, the earth around us, is the best way to get rid of the people that they don't want here? The people who aren't going to follow along with the plan, the non-conformists, the non-pure bloodlines. What do you think what is ways they can get rid of us without damaging the natural resources that they're selling off bit by bit to other countries. This is a corporate country. Everything is going to be marked off in divisions like Hunger Games. I don't consent. This is a beautiful, bountiful country. I don't consent. I'm not okay with this. We pay taxes to these federal lands that they're selling off, and I'm not okay with it, and I do not consent. And you need to make sure it's known that you don't either. And trust me, you shouldn't. So if you want to get rid of a group of people, especially specific people, what's a good way to get rid of poor people? And what's a good way to make poor people? Create more poor people. Well, you create more poor people by raising the prices and cost of inflation. Then you have more poor people. And you have the people that you wanted in that group from the middle class are now there. So you have this big group of undesirables, deplorables. How do you get rid of them but not anybody else? Well, because they're poor, they're going to do what? They're going to buy the cheapest food. I can't give you the brand names here, but I'm here to tell you that the generic brands at places like Walmart, the dollar store, wherever you do your shopping, don't buy them. Spend the extra money or don't eat. Do not buy the cheap food, the cheap peanut butter, the cheap soup, the cheap bread, the cheap cooked, especially junk food. But don't buy the generic brands. This is how they're getting rid of undesirables. And going after the poor is going after that food supply specifically. We are at war. They didn't tell anybody. We don't know. They've not made an announcement, so most people haven't been clued into the fact yet. They need to be told everything. I'm warning you. God warned me not to use that Zoom app, not to use FaceTime. Why? I don't know. Maybe they'll do something like they did with Charlie. Maybe they'll make a fake AI video of you so they can press charges against you and lock you up. Anything to get us out of the way. And they will make up excuses. They will make us all villains. Because you see what's happening now, don't you? Anyone that believes this story with Charlie and Erica is foolish. They've done nothing but pay bots to be in those comment sections. There's no way people are that dumb that they believe that. Okay, and what's going on there? They are bad actors. It's all been planned. It's all been planned out. They already knew who's going to be in the top places. Hold on a sec. So we are at war, and what has happened, and you can see this, they are giving us, say it's a template for everything else, or say it's the master copy. Look at Erica. Look how she's acting. And she is acting, okay? Very badly, very poorly. I've seen soap opera stars do a better job. Didn't I just do a video on witches being unable to cry? And I told you they were going to accuse us. The persecution always comes from within the church, and they accuse other church members of being witches, doing witchcraft, sorcery, whatever, and harming children, because that's the worst thing they can say now. Now it's gone from gaslighting people and calling them crazy to calling them child harmers so that nobody else will listen. All right? So, hold on. So what you're seeing now is all these people are taking the place of true Christ followers in the church and in the headlines. Why? So number one, when they write history, they control how it's written, and they control that narrative too. A lot of the media saturation you're seeing now will go away. They will somehow get rid of a lot of it. This is why they gave us digital devices and don't want us using analog. It's easy to erase everything like that with an EMP. An EMP. So we are at war and no one has told you, and so this is how it's done. If you want to get rid of the poor people, you cut off their food supply or you poison the food supply, and I believe that's what's happened. This is why things taste different. This is why things taste bad. It's one reason. I got one of the last hamburgers a couple of years ago that I got from McDonald's. Somebody brought me. I said, I'm not eating this. It smells like formaldehyde. And when I prayed over it, they were upset about that too. Pray over all of your food. Do not buy that cheap brand, the cheap store brands at Walmart and Giant Eagle and all these places, and even the Dollar General. Skip it. Pay the extra money, and don't let other people prepare your food right now. We are at war. There's a lot of bad actors, and they have taken the place of true Christ followers, and they will use that, okay, to accuse all of us of being child harmers and the gamut. God warned me about these things, and I'm warning you. Do not use Zoom. I'm uncertain as to why exactly, but don't use it. They could make fake AI videos of you. I warned you a long time ago, don't use the voice recording apps. You're giving them permission to basically use your voice for anything then. Don't use it. The terms and agreements are bad too. I know somebody that got ill, and I think that had something to do with it because she can't use her voice. And it's no longer her own. And that's how they also conceal their identity on television, by using silicone and by using other voices. And they use different voices. And again, I've seen this. I know some of these people. Okay, I see how they act and behave. I worked with a kid that looks exactly like J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance is wearing a mask. That's why he wears that eyeliner. And I don't think his hairline and all that, I think some of that they add in after. Anyways, don't use the Zoom app. Please, just don't use it. Don't do FaceTime and all that. I would not. I warn you against that. Yeah, they're in the church. So the witches now are the Christians, and they're going to call all of us, they're going to accuse us of what they're doing and what they've been doing. No Zoom, no generic, and, remember that we are at war, and they have taken our place. So if you're going to church, if you're a church-going person, please be careful. And it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. Christians are worth certain points now. Be careful who you tell. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to conceal your faith. I don't think we're supposed to do that. But be careful who you share with at this time. All right, this is long enough. You guys have a blessed day. We'll talk soon. Bye. Thanks for being here.